You know, you don't necessarily need to have a date in order to have a good time on Valentine's Day. Look at me, I'm playing Deep Rock. I'm hanging out, having a drink with me and you, I guess. I guess if you want to look at it parasocially, you could pretend that I'm here with you. That's a nice thought, right? So, Deep Rock commentary, right? I more or less wanted to talk about Valentine's Day. Or, not really. I wanted to start off with Valentine's Day. And then talk about school. I want to grow my gaming channel. And I'll make no secret of being a very big fan of J Schlatt and Technoblade. And I really like their style of videos where they just play a game. In Technoblade's case, he would play Sky Wars, and Schlatt, well, I guess he's still doing those. I think the last time he did one was like 2 months ago. And he plays, I think he plays like Modern Warfare 2 or like Black Ops or something. Now, whether or not he is actually playing the games while he's commentating? I don't actually know if he's playing them, but they are there. They're present. In my case, I am playing them, which does take some attention away, but I mean, it's okay. Maybe I'll come across something that'll remind me of a really cool, crazy story that I can share with you. My goal is to get good enough at commentary to the point that I don't have to edit out portions where I'm just quiet. So, let's try. Let's do our best. First of all, I wanted to tell you about Valentine's Day, right? Because that's tomorrow. I'm recording this on a Friday. The Friday before Saturday. Or the Friday before Valentine's Day. And I don't have a date. And I'm sure a lot of you don't have a date either. And I just want you to know that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Because, look, I know a thing or two about love. I've been with... It's awkward. It's kind of awkward. Nevertheless, the point stands. You don't need to... This cave layout sucks. You don't need to have a date on Valentine's Day to be happy, I feel like. Look at me. I just bought myself a big old box of chocolates. Fancy little box that I didn't need. And I kept telling myself I wasn't going to get because, I mean, yeah, I have a sweet tooth, but I didn't really... I felt sad. I think you understand what I mean, right? Like, you buying a box of chocolates for yourself sounds really sad. And, yeah, maybe you have a point. Maybe you have a point. But I just wanted to do it because I wanted to make that point to myself that you don't need to be in a relationship in order to be happy. That's a good point. That's a good conversation starter, isn't it? Do you think you need to be in a relationship in order to be happy, in order to be content? I used to feel that way for a long time. And I think to this day, I still struggle to move on from my most recent relationship, which it's about to be 2 years ago, right? And so you'd think 2 years is enough time, and it's enough time for you to not be upset about it anymore, but it's in just enough time for you to still reminisce on it and think, oh man, that happened. Here's my bit of advice for you, right? This is just the way I've started thinking about it. I came up with this about a year ago. And it's just worked for me, and I try to share it with whoever I can whenever they're like having that sort of problem where either they're not in a relationship or, well, this was about not being happy. What? I guess we're devolving into how to move on advice. Well, here's the way I started to think about it, because, you know, the five was it 5 or 6? I don't know. The 6 stages of grief. They're real. They're a very real thing, and for me, it was, you know, grief, and then a very long period of anger for a while, because, look, I'm a really chill guy. Like, I know that's coming from me, but, like, for the most part, I'm one of the most mellow people you'll ever meet. Like, I could be on any type of drug and, like, 20 cups of coffee, Red Bulls, Monsters, and you'll still be like, how does he still look so, like, not awake? Why is he, you know, why is he like almost not even here? Why is he so mellow? Yeah, I probably should have just left it at mellow. Mellow is the best word to describe me in most scenarios. And so I think it was rare and uncharacteristic of me to be so upset about it for a while, because we didn't have contact. And so, like, I was just mad, and I would like say it to friends like, dude, I know I was really sad about it, but now I'm really angry. I'm so, like, I did all this for you, you know? And I guess that's not that important, because that's not the stage that I want to talk to you about. It was acceptance. When I finally sat down and started to look at it this one specific way that I'm going to share with you, I just thought to myself, hey, yeah, it's over. Maybe, you know, I wanted it to keep going. And well, some things in life are just out of your control and there's nothing you can do about that. You need to learn to accept that first and foremost. But secondly, something that really helped me to embrace what had happened as like just fate and something that my person, my character needed to grow was that look at it like this. Were you happy? Were you at that point in your life that you were with this person happy and content? Do you think those memories are good for you? Or do you think, you know what, we had a good time? If so, that is all you need. My friend, that is literally all you need. As long as you were happy, then that is the best way to look at it. And the now, well, the now is what I was saying at the beginning of the video. It's Valentine's Day and it's okay for you to be alone today. I mean, obviously you're not alone. You're here with me fighting grubs. But, I don't know. I guess that's just my Grey Guara tidbit of love for the month. Monday, I uploaded a video to my main channel that took some time to make because my main channel videos take time to make. You know, they need a script, they need a lot of editing. Admittedly, this video I'm making right now is probably not going to take very long to edit at all. And that's also part of why I like it because I just kind of decided, hey, I just got home from Publix and I'm just going to sit down and, oh, look, cargo crate. I decided, hey, I'm just going to sit down and play the game and talk because I really want to do that. I want to see if maybe there's somebody out there that likes my rambling because, historically, I haven't been very good at speaking. I'm more of a one-on-one kind of person, and I think if I learn to start treating it like I'm talking to one person right now, I could probably get very good at it. Hopefully, I don't know. I know it's hard. It's pretty hard, and it's going to be hard because that's just the way it is. You know, like not everybody is cut out, or that's a very unfriendly word. Not everybody is born with that same ability to like, you know, I'm a super socially awkward. I stutter a lot. I take random pauses in between my sentences. Even with people that I know, people that I've known for so many years, they'll probably still go like, yeah, that guy Gray, he's been the same person for the last 20 years. And when I look back at like some older stuff of me and like some like old content from when I first started getting into this, which I did all wrong, by the way. I don't know why I went into this thinking immediately that I was some kind of big celebrity. I'm not, you know. I was starting out. And I was doing everything wrong, and that's fine. You learn from your mistakes, and I certainly have. This video is a huge example of how far I've come from what I used to do. If you have anything that maybe you would like to see me talk about, because I can talk, boy can I yap. I can certainly talk about a lot of life issues that you may be having. And admittedly, it's not that difficult to just get on a mic, sit down, and play Deep Rock. And we might switch it up too every now and then. Deep Rock is just something I'm very good at playing and entering flow state in, so I can just keep focusing on the objective and still commentate. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Commentate. The other day I was saying in one of my videos, because I was reading my script, that took me ages to... I'm a good writer, alright? Admittedly, I'm a very good writer. But I guess I'm not a good speaker, as you can see. Or is that reader? I guess I'm not a good reader. That's kind of upsetting. Because I knew the word see, I was about to do it. I know the word epitome. But for some reason, when I read it on a sheet of paper, my brain immediately goes to epitome. Epitome. It's not epitome, it's epitome. I am the epitome of social awkwardness. And I really don't like getting these fossils. But here, my main objective with this video, besides to get it out there that I'm doing commentary videos, was I wanted to share a story with you, because that's probably going to be 80% of my commentary videos, just stories that I remember from way back in the day. It's not like I was a super exciting child or like anything crazy, but I guess I was concerning a little bit in middle school. That's like one of the biggest things I want to talk about, because I think that's so funny. I think I could talk about that for a good while. But I just wanted to first, like, I wanted to segue into chocolate. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's relevant. I wanted to talk about chocolate. And fortunately for us, we are like a day from Valentine's Day, so, you know, it's like, hey, it's pretty relevant right now, right? It's not a stretch to go, hey, guys, do you want to talk about chocolate? It's Valentine's Day tomorrow, right? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know how long I'm going to for. It might end up being a two-part sort of thing. Like, stay tuned for the next episode of what I did in middle school that I shouldn't have done. But let's get started here, right? It was 2018, 2019, I don't know. When was Fortnite in its chapter... See, back then it wasn't even... Wait, no, there was chapters. I'm thinking of seasons. Back then there was no season 2. There was none of this season... Isn't it season 3 now? I don't know, man. I don't play Fortnite anymore. But last time I played, it was like season 8, and there was this little thing called a brute mech. All right, that's the last I remember. There was an Ice King, and there was a monster, and they were fighting the monster with a Cuddle Team Leader mech. That was the last time I played Fortnite. But that's irrelevant. That's a tangent. There's going to be a lot of those on this channel. There was a significant lack of funds on my end at that point in my life, which is like, man, I hope I never go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many things that I used to fantasize about. Oh, I'm dead. There's so many things I used to fantasize about back then that I can do now. And I'm like, man, I know a lot of people are always going on about like, oh, I wish I was a kid again. Your guy, Greg Guara, never has that thought, ever. Maybe a couple of days ago when I was like thinking about, man, I really do pay taxes now and like pay bills, and this is rough. This is rough. I don't like this at all. Why do I have to be a cog in the corporate machine? Kill me, you know? And that happens every now and then, but I rarely had the thought I want to be a kid again, because it's like when I was a kid, I wanted to do so many things, and I was a really sheltered kid. So even now you can see remnants of me being super sheltered, super like didn't go to parties or anything like that. Oh, I'm dead. Didn't go to parties. Actually, I still don't like parties. But what I mean is, as a kid, I craved a lot of freedom. I craved doing so many things, especially growing up watching like the major birth of like the internet. And I was just fascinated by all these things and like all these upcoming YouTubers and all these crazy mods and video games that were playing that I couldn't play because all I had was an Xbox 360 and a Nintendo DSi. Dude, this gameplay is gonna suck. And so, yeah, I don't really miss a whole lot of that because like now I can do all these things and more, you know? I have the freedom to... I remember sitting with my buddy like, man, one day when we're big and strong, we're gonna get Minecraft PC Java Edition, and we're gonna download the Crazy Craft mod, and we're gonna play, and we're gonna be like popular MMOs. We're gonna be like Bayesian, we're gonna be like Jerome, and we're gonna get rich, and that's gonna be our lives. Obviously that didn't happen, but you see where I'm coming from, right? That was another iconic Greg Guara tangent that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. Fortnite, right? I wanted money for Fortnite because I wanted skins, because if you had skins, you made it in life, you know? That's just the way it works. And I didn't have any, and I wanted some, so I needed money, and my parents wouldn't, you know, fund my illicit activities. So I decided that I was going to do illicit activities instead. No, I wasn't a drug dealer, although we did brush necks every now and then. I was what you call a salesman. Deltarune was so good, they decided to make salesman a real thing. And at that time, I dealt in chocolates, all right? That was my thing. I sold Hershey's, I sold Reese's, I sold, you name it, honestly. What are those things? And the Nutter Butters? I sold Nutter Butters, I sold Milky Ways, Three Musketeers. I was the guy, I was the chocolate guy. I was Willy Wonka of middle school. And business was booming, surprisingly. It was actually, so here's the thing. I said I wasn't necessarily a bad kid, right? I wasn't, but I wasn't a good kid. I was not a good kid. I like just barely walked the line between a goody two shoes and a criminal. I had this iconic jacket, right? A neon jacket. I was one of the weird kids too, like admittedly. I was weird, and a lot of people probably also thought I was one of the quiet kids concerningly, which you'll probably agree with after you hear enough of my middle school stories. But dude, business expanded, and I got to the point where I had to like hire kids to join the operation, and like it was so funny because one of those kids at some point or another did end up becoming like a drug dealer or something. And sometimes I go, I wonder if his first work experience as a Greg Guara merchant inspired him to take things a step further. He was good too. His numbers were very good. Our numbers were good in general. Like business was booming, like I said. Dude, like Midas, Red Knight, all these, like all the most popular skins, it was boom, you got it. And for a while, I felt like I was on top of the world, you know? Like, we had everything. We took advantage of the fact that at that time, we were all stuck in the same, like, computer lab room for testing, and our teacher didn't care. Our teachers did not give a shit at all. So we would just be planning business and, like, talking about, all right, this guy owes us money, we're gonna go, you know, we're gonna go sit him down. And, like, you know, we ruled. We were winning. And then it happened. The Hot Cheetos craze. A craze that pretty much, to some extent, stayed alive all these years later. The Hot Cheetos and Takis thing. Except now people don't criminalize them as much. Back then, it was like if you had Takis, you were a criminal. You had drugs. In my case, that went as far back as like elementary school. I remember I wanted to sneak a bag into the cafeteria for lunch because, I don't know, I thought that would be a really good part of a complete breakfast to have, right, Takis? I couldn't sneak it in, so I went to this kid who had a lunchbox, and I'm like, hey, listen here, pal. You're gonna sneak this bag of Takis into the cafeteria for me, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. I'll give you a split, right? And then I guess the kid got cold feet at some point, and he was just like, all right, man, I'm not doing it anymore. And he's like, but I still want my cut. And I'm like, well, you can't get your cut. So we're fighting over the bag, and bam, it rips. It spills all over the floor while we're in the line, you know? I used to line up to go to lunch. And so the teacher's just like, man, you guys are done. It's over. You're all going to be writing Taki's safety essays for the next year. And that is exactly what happened. I could probably recite it for you, word for word, what I wrote about the dyes and the dangers of Takis. You'll get ulcers, kids. But long story short, Takis just outsold us. Kids caught wind of it. Kids wanted more. And eventually, we were completely ran out of business. Because there was, like, on every corner, some guy whose backpack was just stuffed to the brim with, it wasn't just Takis. It was, the big sellers were Gatorade. Those, the sour strip things? I don't remember what they're called. Punch Up? Something like that? No, Punch Up is a character from Dispatch. Suffice to say, that was the end of my chocolate empire. My chocolate mafia, really. We were ruthless. Oh, blood sugar, I hate this. And I think my biggest sale ever, collectively, was when this guy, right? He had a crazy voice for a middle schooler. At the time, a lot of kids were going through puberty, obviously, and all these things. But that guy sounded insane. I couldn't believe how his voice was. I'm going to try to replicate it. I used to be really good at replicating it. I can't anymore, I think. But he was like, hey, man. That was his voice. And he approaches me, and he's like, hey, Gray, I'm going to buy from you. And I'm like, okay, here's the selection. And I offer him singles because, you know, those were the best sellers. And he's like, no, I want to buy the whole thing. And I'm like, really? Yeah. And we sold him the entire container for like $30, which at the time, you know, kids in low income schools, $30, that's a big deal. That's a lot of money. Like we could not believe our eyes. We couldn't believe how much money we had just made. $30, that was at the time like 3,000 V-Bucks or maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's inflated. I know GTA is for sure inflated since then, but we didn't really spend our chocolate money on GTA. We spent it more on Fortnite. What I did do on GTA was grind. I think that might be another topic. We'll talk about that at some point. My unhealthy obsession with GTA 5 Online and what happened to it today, you know? I think that would be a fun topic. But so this kid, right, he buys the entire container. He walks off. That was a really great day for me, man. We made $40, and I found this kid's chain on the floor, a silver chain, like a real silver chain on the ground, and I just snatched it. I just took it. That's like my alter ego, snatch. I don't care. I just snatch and grab. That's just me. Remember that neon jacket I was talking about? I didn't mention that it had inner pockets. Like, I was a shifty-eyed little kid who would see something and just stuff it in his inside pockets. And so I saw that and I took it, and guess what? To this day, I still have that chain. I still occasionally wear it, but now I have my own pendant for it. It is absurd the amount of things I got away with back then. And so, besides the fact that it was a good day for me, it was a terrible day for that guy because he bought that whole thing, right? And so we're friends for the most part. So we're walking down the hall and we're seeing him off to his next class. And like, obviously some of us were kind of like on him thinking like, man, I wonder if he'll share. I know we sold it to him, but like, I wonder if he'll like give us one or something, which doesn't really make sense. But like, we were just desperate for some sweets. And what happened next was hilarious. Well, maybe not for him, but I guess some kids saw us making this transaction with him and they come over and they jump the guy. He's going up the stairwell to his next class. They just stop him. There's like 3 or 4 kids just toss him on the ground, start beat him up. They take his backpack like while the other 2 are still just like on him. And dude, they just took everything. That poor guy, they took everything he had. And like, we were just kind of there like, well, sucks to suck. No refunds, right? Like, we were ruthless, you know? And dude, it was just so sad seeing that guy on the ground with that voice of his, just like, man, they took everything. See, I can't even say it with a straight face. They took everything from him that day. That really was a bad day to be that guy. But well, that was pretty much it. Because like, after that, you know, I got ran out of business. You know, there was nobody wanted chocolates anymore. And to make matters worse, my buddy who was like the acquisitions officer of the group, he was another shifty-eyed motherfucker. He was like, we would go to our neighborhood corner store, and that was where we would get all of our chocolates from. I mean, eventually I upgraded to like the big stores where you could get a whole bunch of them for cheap and like sell them at a profit. Because at its prime, we were making a lot of money, but in the end days of it, we simply weren't selling enough of them to justify buying them from the big stores anymore. So we like exclusively went to the corner store. But by that point in time, we had ransacked the guy so much. Dude, this was our racket. We would we were just two sweet, innocent young men, right? And we would I would go in and I would actually buy something as a distraction, and this guy would stuff himself with like Skittles and chocolates and all these things. And in the beginning and in the end, that was how we got 90% of our product. But I guess the guy eventually caught wind of this because like there was never any chocolate there because of us. I don't know, maybe he also did what we were doing, and so he was like starting to be at a loss because of our purchases, because he hiked the price up by a lot. We were not able to make any profit on sales. It got to the point where it was like we'd have to sell a single Hershey bar, the king size, not even, I think, just the normal size Hershey's. Or is king the normal size? I can't remember. I know there's a king size and I know there's like a share size. I don't know. I haven't been in the business for a long time. You gotta cut me some slack. But what I can say is that it basically became like we were buying chocolates for $1.75 and we had to sell them for $2. And then that was it. It was over. Nobody was going to buy a single bar of Hershey's for $2. And the profit margins were so small that it wasn't even worth buying anymore, you know? And it was becoming really inconvenient because we had to carry like a spare quarter with us every time we went to that store, because it would be like, no, it's not $1.50 anymore. It's $1.75. And they'd be like, what? I swear they were like 75 cents when we started. And, you know, by the end, I'm pretty sure they're $2 today, just so you know. And that's all me. That's all my fault and my buddy. We inflated the corner store. So what's the lesson from all this? What's the takeaway? Well, one, go get yourself some chocolates tomorrow. And two, maybe you try to rekindle your childhood ability to scam and rip off people. Because it seems like nowadays that's like a very good way to become a millionaire. You might lose a bit of dignity on the way, but you'll be filthy rich, right? So keep that in mind. Maybe don't take that as a lesson from me, but take that as a lesson from younger me, that you need to become a shifty-eyed motherfucker again. And maybe you'll acquire riches. Me, I'm not going to acquire anything because this deep scan is not going very well. But I guess that's it for this commentary video. I'll see you guys hopefully next week. We'll see. I'm going to keep uploading normal gaming videos, but this variety of my videos, you're probably only going to get like once a week. Stay tuned for more. And if you made it all the way here, I really appreciate you hearing me out, listening to me yap. And yeah, take care, be easy, and happy Valentine's Day, I guess.